Hey friend, are you asking yourself, is this what I really want to be doing with my life? I don't think so. I think there's something else that I'm meant to be doing. Welcome to the Painting Your Path podcast, where we have real conversations about what it takes to step out, be bold, and do you. I'm your host, Clarissa Castillo-Ramsey. Let's dive in. Driving through Altadena, I'm struck by the breathtaking mountains surrounding spaces where homes once stood. There's so much beauty here, and still so much loss. And holding both at the same time feels like the only honest place to begin. Welcome back to the Painting Your Path podcast. I'm your host, Clarissa Castillo-Ramsey. And in this chapter of the podcast, I'm sitting down with survivors of the Eaton and Palisades fires, as well as the organizations and community leaders supporting recovery and healing. But before we dive into today's conversation, I wanted to share something I've created, especially for this season of life so many of us are in. I've put together a free series called The Art of Becoming 3-Day Audio Series. It's a gentle, creative companion to help you reconnect with who you're becoming now, especially after seasons of change or reinvention. This 3-day series is also what I call a taster sample of my 6-week Art of Becoming program, which begins the week of February 23rd. So if you're feeling a pull toward deeper support and a more intentional creative path forward, this is a beautiful place for you to start. And I'll share more details in the show notes. But now, on to today's episode. Today, I'm joined by Marike, artist, candle maker, community builder, and fellow traveler through loss and renewal. Together, we explore how creativity can help us channel grief, reconnect to both strength and softness, and find new light after the fire. We talk about painting as a way to process what words cannot hold. The story behind Altadena Candle Company and how community becomes a lifeline when everything familiar is burned away. This conversation is tender, honest, and full of hope. I'm so honored to share Marike's story with you. Let's dive in. Marike, it is so great to have you on the Painting Your Path podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I have really just gotten to know you over, last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been such a joy to get to know you. But for those of you who may not know you yet,
Yes.
could you share a little bit about just about who you are?
Who am I?
I know it's a question I ask myself quite often. Who am I today?
So currently I am the sole member of Altadena Candle Company, the CEO and all the other roles, which I started in August of 2024. I'm a painter, and in my previous life, I was an assistant principal of a high school and a high school social studies teacher. Actually, I taught for 10 years at Pali High in the Palisades. Yeah, and my husband Edwin, he was an animator. He worked on The Simpsons for like 23 years, and he helped me a lot with my painting, like just teaching me. His background was fine arts, and he passed away in 2021. So I had been painting since the start of COVID. And he was like, you need to do a show with all these paintings. He said, you need 20 paintings to do a show. Like, why you had that number? You had that number that you need 20 paintings to do a show. And I was like, okay, okay. And so I just kept painting that year of COVID, really because it was the first time in my adult life I'd had time to like
Right.
be creative. Um,
And what did you paint?
I was painting portraits
Oh,
when
wow.
I had to taken a screenshot on it of an Instagram photo, and COVID happened, the shutdown happened, and like a week into it was really rainy, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the garage and paint. So I worked on this portrait. I hadn't done a portrait like that. And I shared it, and people were like, wait, you paint? I'm like, I guess I do. And
Yeah, I do.
what was crazy, I sold that painting and I had commissions for 2 years
Oh my
for that
gosh.
first portrait, which was
That's
wild.
beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, the in April, no, March or April 2021, so a year out from COVID, a year after I started painting these portraits, I did a painting of Edwin. And it was the first one where he didn't comment on it at all. He just watched me do it. And I was like, okay, I'm done. And he sat down in that painting and he was like, this is really good. This is really, really good.
Oh,
And he's like, this will be the cover of your book someday, which is funny. But he passed away a month later.
wow.
Yeah. And that
Yeah.
was my 20th painting, which was
Oh
crazy
my
because I wasn't
gosh.
trying to do the 20 paintings for the show. But when he passed, I spoke to a grief art therapist, and she said, sometimes emotions are too much for us to deal with and we kind of shut down. But creativity and emotion both move through the limbic system. So if you just keep creating, you'll heal indirectly, even if you can't face.
Yes.
So that's what I would do. I would just paint all night like a zombie.
Yeah,
Um,
I get that.
mhm.
And and when this voice thing happened that I'm still contending with, same with me because like my business is talking, like I'm a podcaster, I'm
Mm,
a coach, I
yes.
do workshops, I'm on other people's shows,
Hmm.
and I literally could not even have this strong of a voice. It was
Yeah.
really like that. And it was depressing. I was
Hmm.
mad. I had so many emotions.
Hmm.
And so same for me. Like I turned to painting. I turned
Okay.
back to
Yeah.
that to process and to just
Yeah.
emote
Yes.
on the canvas. So yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you, sister. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I found like I couldn't get in touch with my feelings. It felt like I was in outer space watching my life happen. And it was only when I would have an idea for a painting, which you know this, it comes through, it's not a conscious idea. It's like a creative vision that you're just meant to sort
Yeah.
of channel. And it was only after I would see on the canvas these self-portraits where I would be able to understand what I was going through. Because I couldn't directly think
Yes.
through it. I was so dissociated from my life, you know? And it was so powerful to notice these different elements in the painting that I didn't consciously choose. Like I had this one painting and it's a view from the floor, and my feet, I have like dirty feet. My dirty feet are like prominently featured like this in the picture. But it just really spoke to this idea of like the way our feet just trudge forward, this sort of work,
Right.
continuing to move even when we can't function, you know? So there was all this symbolism and meaning that I wasn't
Yeah.
choosing, but it
Yeah.
helped me understand and make sense of my grief.
Yes, and that is the beauty of art. And
Hmm.
when you
Yeah.
complete something and take a step back and then get to ask yourself again, like, oh, what is this showing?
Hmm.
What am I seeing over this series? And I'm working on a series of
Mm.
imaginary landscapes.
Interesting.
And I've posted a few on
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram. But what I'm really noticing in these is just this duality.
Mhm.
feminine energy, masculine energy, hard, soft.
Wow.
And like you said, like you're not necessarily like I'm
Yeah.
just painting whatever's coming through me. And
Yes.
yes, I'm like in this space of imaginary landscapes.
Hmm.
But as I'm looking at these paintings, I'm like, oh snap, what's this all about? You know, and I
Yeah.
think for me, it is truly finding some like being okay in duality of life. Like life is hard, life is soft, life is sweet, life is sour and
Yeah.
bitter, and all these different things. And in my business, like I go through phases of
Hmm.
being in such a masculine energy of like, go, go, produce, produce,
Yeah.
produce, like get it done. And and in contrast with the, ooh, let me just do nothing
Yeah.
and let me
Yeah.
see what's gonna come through. So that is really showing up in this
It's
new
blowing my
set.
mind actually that you're saying all this. This is what you're talking about is just what's hit me this week as I started to feel all these feelings from the fire.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I of that this has been a year of being totally in masculine energy of like, saving my kid from a fire and replacing all of my belongings and like it's just been like
Bam, bam.
strong. I have to be strong.
Yeah.
I have to keep going with this company and I have to do all this stuff. And like for me, I've gained like 10 pounds. I'm just like eating, right?
Can't tell that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's been like, why can't I self-regulate? And it's because I have been only in this masculine energy and so afraid to soften. Like, who's going to handle everything if I'm soft, if I'm open, if I'm vulnerable, you know? But you're saying this, and I'm like, I've just started to have this conversation or
Yeah.
like think about this or write about this, how much I need to reconnect with softness and femininity and
Yes.
vulnerability. And like, it's no surprise I've only done one painting the whole year because I haven't been tapped into that because I've been
Yeah.
so stuck in survival mode since the fires.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah,
And
it's
like for detaching from all these ways that I nourish myself in that sort of feminine energy. I mean, I'm a yoga teacher, like for my
right.
daily yoga practice, daily meditation practice, I just am like, why can't I do this? And it's like, oh, because that part of me has been put on a shelf
It
to be
to
strong.
yeah, to take care of business like with
Yeah.
what's right in front of you. And
Yeah.
Marika, what's your connection to Altadena? How long have you been in the community?
Yeah. So my husband and his ex-wife raised their kids near Altadena in North Pasadena on Los Robles, so really close to Woodbury. And they had an amazing relationship, like amazing co-parent relationship, amazing friendship. Like I admire them so much. And when Edwin and I got married and we were going to have kids, his ex-wife Itza, who's like a sister to me, was like, "You two should really move close so that we can all help with the baby." Because we were in the valley isolated and really isolated. So we are just kind of trying to manifest that. And when Bodhi was one, my mom moved out to North Pasadena. My brother was already living in South Pasadena, and we were like, "This is it." And an opportunity came up.
Right.
We went to go see this house, and I get out of the car in Altadena, and just the trees, the air, the quiet. I was like, "This is it. This is it. This place is home. This is my happy place." Like I did not vibe with the valley. It was just concrete jungle.
Right. Yeah.
And Altadena just was like breath of fresh air. Like, this is where I want to be.
Yes.
And that place actually didn't work out. And I was so bummed. We went to a friend's house who lived in Altadena, and she was like, "Well, let's just look on Zillow and see what's here." Because there was this house, and she was like, "Ooh, you should look at this one because it has a pool, so we can use your pool." I was like, "Great, let's go." So we drove over there. We've got Bodie in the car and Edwin, and the owner of the house just happened to be in the driveway. And I was like, "Is this your house?" He's like, "Yeah, can we look at it?" And it just was like everything was perfect. Everything was perfect. And yeah, I just knew this was where I wanted to be forever.
Yeah.
To me, so I lived on the west side for a long time and I taught at Pali. So we had a lot of kids from Topanga. I spent a lot of time in Topanga. And for me, I'm like, this is Topanga East. That's kind of,
Right.
it's got, bohemian vibe. It's got the
Yes.
mountains. It's got all that stuff. And it just, but more diverse, and that felt really good to me. So yeah, Bodhi's 8 now. So we moved there when he was 1.
Oh, yeah. It's it is quite a unique community. Like
Hmm.
really, truly. Like I've lived in different places, lived in different states, lived in lots of
Yeah.
different communities, and
Yeah.
there is nothing like
Oh my
Altadena.
gosh.
There
I
really,
just
there
that
really
feeling in
isn't.
LA of like walking Bodhi in his stroller when we first moved there and like chatting with the neighbors and getting the gossip and the neighborhood stories and people saying hi. And I was like, I didn't know this was possible in LA. I really didn't.
Right.
And
Yeah.
just so warm. So
Yeah.
it felt like community. I was like, I am never leaving.
Yeah. I'm never leaving either.
Yep.
And um and I want to like kind of pivot to your business if
Hmm.
that's
Yeah,
okay to
of
like
course.
so for those who don't know, well, you already said it, but Marika has a beautiful candle company, Altadena Candle Company.
Hmm.
My favorite candles, and I'm not just saying that because you're
Thank
here,
you.
like literally all of the scents to me smell
Mhm.
good, which makes it
Okay.
hard to purchase
Yeah.
just one. But would
Mhm.
love to hear the backstory.
Hmm.
And just, I'm fascinated by the specific scents you put together. So if
Hmm.
you could also share just anything about how
Okay.
you compile like these beautiful
Yeah.
scents.
So when I started making candles, I'm a yoga teacher and I would do women's retreats at my house. And so I was planning for a winter solstice retreat and I wanted to give people a candle because it's about this sort of light coming back in the darkness of winter. So I was okay. I was okay. I'm going to teach myself how to make candles, and I started and just kind of went down this rabbit hole. And a friend of mine, Paulie, who's lives in Altadena, owns a pool cleaning company. Great guy, loves candles. And he was like, "These are so good. You need to sell these. You should start a small business. It'd be great. You could be more flexible for Bodhi." And for me, that was terrifying. Like business is not my wheelhouse. Also, just I had a lot of insecurity about putting a product out into the world. I had this with my art too, that I was so scared to because it's vulnerable, right? But
Totally.
candles are like they're creative, but it's also if somebody doesn't like a scent, that doesn't feel like they're criticizing my soul the same way if I put a painting out, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
this is kind of perfect, and I can do it from home with Bodhi and whatever anyway. So when I really decided, okay, I'm going to do this, I looked up, are there other makers in Altadena, just to see what's out there. And I couldn't find any. And I was like, this in Altadena, this
Untapped.
place is so full of creative people. How's there not a candle maker? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be Altadena Candle Company. And I had a lot of anxiety about that because it's a really special community. So I didn't want to put the name Altadena on something if this wasn't a really high quality product that spoke to our community. So I very intentionally look for scents that connected to the landscape or, the seasons, life in Southern California, just like our world. Um, and I stray from that sometimes for the seasonal stuff just because it's fun. I like with a background in Ayurveda and this idea of living seasonally. Like I love shifting for the season and shifting mood and
Yes.
focus and all that. So um yeah, so that's where I started picking scents. Like El Rancho was one of my big sellers. And so I was looking at the history of the region. So thinking about, citrus groves is a big thing. I have an olive orchard candle. There used to be olives growing up in Altadena. And then, before we were Altadena, we were Rancho San Pascual and like trying to tap into these different elements. Like right now, I have an equestrian line that I worked with this woman, Julie, who has some stables. She's in Altadena, and we sat down and we were at the barns, like thinking about different scents and things like that. So I guess I like to think of it as like a love letter, a dialogue, an homage, a way to connect us to the parts of our community that are so special and beautiful. So yeah, it's very intentionally about place.
Yes. Yeah. And I think for now, my favorite candle is the Altadena candle. That is the
Mm,
one that I keep buying over and over again. And I think the first one I ever bought from you was El Rancho
hmm
because, and maybe
hmm
not because of what Altadena was called before, but
Yeah.
because of the Rancho
The
bar,
Rancho Bar,
which
yeah.
is, was, hopefully will be again, up and
Yeah.
running. But that is like my favorite bar.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
it's where my husband and I like reconnected after
Amazing.
like so many
I just
years
got chills.
and that's how and then we started dating. Like,
Oh, that is
we
so
met at
cool.
the rancho and we were talking
Hmm.
about each other
Yeah.
independently to the people we were hanging out with. So there's like a lot of, meaning there. And yeah, that is, yeah,
I
literally.
agree. And I love that bar. But I was, again, when I started this, I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. I was like, I don't know if they'll like this candle. So I'm not going to be like, the Rancho.
Right.
But it was funny when I was selling at Christmas Tree Lane, not this one, but the year before, this couple walks up and they're like clearly inebriated. They're like, the Rancho candle, we were just there. I was like,
Oh,
obviously you were just there. Like I could tell. But they're the best, the absolute bestest couple. And they,
I
they came
love
back
it.
this year and bought some more.
Oh, that's so great. I probably know them.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And for our listeners, can
Yeah.
you share where they can find your candles now?
Yeah,
For some of the
so
places.
I
You're
sell them on my
everywhere.
website, which is altadena.candleco.com. Um, you could always reach out to me on Instagram. A lot of people do and buy direct from me. I sell at markets, different markets throughout the year. The one I have coming up is the Arts Walk in South Pasadena, which is February something,
In
second
February.
February,
Okay,
first week of
cool.
February. Um, and then there's different stores. So Adelaide's in Altadena and Webster's, Altadena Beverage, Crescent Yoga has some, Broman's has them, Little Flower Cafe. Where else out here in the east? The Hive in South Pasadena has them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're even on the west side. There's in Playa del Rey, there's a little new
Oh, nice.
Italian market and deli called Local Market and Deli. They carry them, especially the beach day because they're right next to the beach. Um, yeah, so they're out there. There's a page on my website that shows where you can buy them. Oh my gosh, Neighbors and Friends. How could I forget Neighbors and Friends? I love
Right.
them. Um, in fact, Neighbors and Friends is where I first started selling them. And Kay, the owner, she mentors women in business. And it was so helpful because I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never sold in stores before. So she was so patient. She gave me a ton of resources. She connected me to the Women's Business Center at PCC. And she's an amazing person. So all of these
Yeah.
places where I sell, I feel like there's this personal heart connection.
Yes.
Again, it's like they're the candles for me are this catalyst for connecting and building community, and that feels so special and so beautiful.
Yes. And we are a community of creatives. And what I
Yeah.
love is the openness that so many of us have to
Yeah.
collaborate, to just
Yes.
connect, to just
Mhm.
create together. So
Mhm.
it's wonderful. And speaking of creations, I know that you were working on a painting last
Mhm.
year.
Mhm.
Um, because as we talked, it helps us process.
Yeah.
And I remember going to your studio. It was up. You were not working on it at the time, but you recently finished it.
Yeah.
So, and for those who are on YouTube watching this, I'm going
Yeah.
to ask Marika to show the painting, but I would love to just hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So, I kind of dragged my feet a bit after the fire to paint it, but I also know how important that is to my healing process. Fortunately, it was like the LA Arts Council gave out a grant and I applied for it to replace my painting supplies. So that's how I replaced everything because it was in the fire. Um, and I had a photograph someone took of me in front of the house where I'm blurry and the background is sharp and the background is my burned down house. And all of my other paintings from my grief series after Edmund passed were hyper realistic. Like I am very sharp and my body I was very thin, my bones were sharp, everything was very taut. Um, and this one, I'm a blur. And I started it and worked on it a little bit throughout the year, but I decided finally to wait until the new year to work on it and to finish it in that week leading up to the anniversary. Um, and so to me, this idea of this destruction is so clear and so thorough. Um, and even just this year, people reposting the videos and seeing this fire over and over just um, was so sharp. But there's this sense of myself and my life and my community and my identity, this total blur. Like, what now? Like, I was in one life one day and I got picked up and put into another life another day. What does that mean? Like, I don't know how to process that.
Right.
And so I can see why I chose that image. Again, like, we don't always know why our creative mind chooses to express something. But do you want me to show you the painting?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Um, so it's no, the light
Oh,
is
it's
on
beautiful.
it there. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I'm
it
looking
is.
up, something I noticed after I finished it was the jacket that I was wearing was green. And after the fire, I felt I needed green around me. Like we moved into this apartment. I got a green couch and green paintings and plants and that's when I created the Altadena candle was after the fires in a green vessel and I wanted a scent
Yes.
that was very green and very fresh, It was like just to contrast with that gray, just that awful
Yes.
gray of the fires. And so, here I am in front of this rusting devastation, looking up to the sky. It's a blur what is coming next, but there's this green, this renewal, that we always kind of um we come back. We grow from these things, this new life emerges from the ashes, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, and it reminds me of like I live right by the JPL trail,
Mm,
and eventually I went out because I had to get out and just
yeah.
be in
Yeah.
nature, and that's what caught my eye was amongst all the gray
Yeah.
and the brown, the little sprouts were coming up, and
Yes.
that contrast really, I took pictures
Hmm.
and my paintings after the fire were very bright.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because, like you said, like, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of smelling, fire and
Yeah.
seeing soot and
Yeah.
drab.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, it's
Right.
a
It's like
beautiful.
manifesting this
Yes,
regeneration through
like,
our artwork.
for sure, for sure.
It's I I'm sure well, maybe you've seen it. I have a burned car candle,
Yes,
which is like the opposite of that, right? It's like the celebration of the burn. That was a
right.
collab with Dave, who takes the photos as not Evie Altadena, and he had reached out and was like, I have an idea, dot, dot, dot. Like, I didn't know him at the time.
Nice.
I was like, okay. So he said, can you make a candle that smells like a burned car? I was like, let's try it, you know.
Yeah.
That's like kind of the opposite, but still, there's still
Right.
something wonderful about that too.
For
'Cause,
sure. For
like,
sure.
you know,
Yeah.
we're
And
we're still here. The
we're
community.
still here. That's right. And the first time I went into Adelaide's on Fair
Mhm.
Oaks, she
Mhm.
had that candle burning. Yep.
They love burning it there. I walked in one time. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Are you guys burning the burn car candle?" They had like two burning, and they're like, "We love it. We love the scent." I was like,
Yep.
"Okay."
Yep.
They're great.
Um, yeah, so great. Well, so at the time of this recording,
Hmm.
it's January 2026,
Yeah.
and I'm just curious, like, we've got this year ahead of us,
Mm.
so what are you looking forward to?
Mm. I mean, what am I looking forward to? I mean, there was like there's always the hope at the end of the year that we just like get to close the door on all the pain and struggle of the previous year, right? And I think for a lot of
Right.
us going into 2026 with what's happening at a national scale and with the anniversary, it's like for me, 2026 started pretty heavy. Um,
Yep.
but I do have a sense of, like I had mentioned earlier, this focus on softening, like, oh, I survived this fire. I am no longer in trauma or, in this crisis. Um, and it's kind of a time to integrate that experience into my being, sort of envelop it and um, embrace it as part of my story now and come back to this part of me that's doesn't have to be that's strong in my femininity. And also, I mean, I made so many amazing female friendships this year, which is what sustains me in life, period. And so I'm just thinking a lot of like, okay, this is who I want to invest in now. We've been through this experience. I've learned so much about like the talent and creativity and skill of so many people this year that I look forward to just deepening those connections beyond just the shared crisis, right?
Yes.
Um, and also, I mean, I'm 46. I'm end of perimenopause. Like, I'm already moving into a new stage of life anyway, which is about, um, what is that about, right? That's kind of what
Right.
I'm thinking. I'm kind of out of the roller coaster of like emotion and identity and physical changes and craziness. Like that has been my last 5 years on top of losing a husband, on top of a house, and just perimenopause, right? So
Oh, right.
now that that's kind of softening, it's like, okay, what do I want to nurture in my life and in my being and in my business and my creativity and in my community? And so even though it's a scary time, it's a really scary time, like politically, socially,
Yeah.
um, environmentally. I really believe like the only antidote is just local. It's community and it's continuing to create in the face of forces working against authenticity and creativity and genuine connection, right? Like just this last decade or more of all, kind of all of us getting lost in the ether of the internet and social media and losing touch with our actual ground
Yes.
and actual people and talking and all these things. Like this is an opportunity to come back to that.
Yeah.
And I think the fire has focused us so much on this place. And that's where real life and growth and change happens. So I
Yeah.
feel hopeful about that.
That's great. Cheers to that.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna say it, Marika and I are
Mm,
planning at some point to do a
yeah.
retreat. So more
Yes.
to come on that.
Yes. I'm very
Yes.
excited about that.
Me too. Me too. I think
So
we all need it,
yes, like
you
I'm so
know?
used to having a retreat in the winter for
Yes.
women, which helps me kind of process the previous year and set my intentions for the new year and to move, to connect, all those things. And I didn't have that. And I deeply feel that loss, but I also know the power of these retreats. And I'm so excited to do one with you and
Yes,
move
me
and
too.
create and talk. And
Oh, yeah.
I think
Looking
it's going to be
forward to
amazing.
that. So that is coming, and I'm already sharing with people that it's coming. So I'm
Yay!
saying it here too, making it an intention, declaring
Yes,
it. So it's going to
manifest.
happen. It's going to manifest, and so we'll keep you posted.
Yes.
Um, Before we shift into what I call rapid Q&A
Okay.
questions, is there anything else, Marika, that you want to share with our audience?
No, no, I'm good. Let's
All
hear
right,
rapid fire.
let's roll with this. So I know it's early in the year, but I'm curious, do you have a word of the year yet?
Yeah, expansion. So I set
Expansion.
that intention with winter solstice. I do that every year. So kind of looking at what I've been through and moving forward, what do I want to take into the new year? And for me, that's expansion.
Love it.
Hmm.
How about your favorite morning beverage?
Oh, coffee. Coffee with half
Me
and half.
too. Love
Actually, now I'm
it.
doing heavy cream.
Heavy cream, nice.
Yeah.
How about what is your favorite scent?
Oh my gosh. Like, ugh. So I love the honey tobacco is a favorite of mine. Um, and the black rose, but I'm going to show you how this is my current obsession is wild berry and
Berries and
moss.
moss. Oh, nice.
It's so good. It's got sandalwood, raspberry, moss. It's got the raspberry, but it's still grounded and earthy and green and warm. It's amazing.
Ooh,
That's my
I'll
current
have,
favorite. They change.
okay.
They change.
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to look for that one.
It's a good one.
How about a current read or podcast that you love?
Ooh. Oh my gosh, current read, what am I reading? I just finished so the woman who wrote Demon Copperhead. Okay, I read that in the fall, loved it. So then I read the Poisonwood Bible after that, which was really, really good. I love sort of historical fiction or like socially embedded fiction. So that's kind of what I've loved recently, but also a lot of Heather Cox Richardson is who I'm listening to mostly these days, just like help us understand what's going on. So she's my current daily listen.
Cool. And I don't know any of those,
Okay, so
so
Heather
I've
Cox
learned
Richardson,
something new.
she is a historian, an American historian. Um, and she's just emerged as a very knowledgeable, level-headed voice in this sort of time of what's going on. Um, and I feel like she gives a really clear picture of what to focus on versus what not to. So she's great. Look her up. Highly recommend. She's also written a lot of American history books. One that I started was I think it's called How the South Won the Civil War, just culturally. So anyway, she's
Yep.
worth looking into.
Okay. I'll check
Brilliant
her
woman.
out.
Yeah.
And how about some of your favorite Altadena spots?
Oh my gosh, favorite Altadena spots. So JPL Trail. I'm not like I love hiking. I
Yeah,
love the nature of Altadena. So that is a big one, especially because Bodie loves that trail. He just basically swims up the creek and swims back down.
love it.
Um, yeah, and some of the hikes that are closed, I do miss. Favorite spots. I mean, our house is over on the unincorporated side, so I'm very excited to be back near unincorporated, but also Altadena Cookie, which is going to be right up the block, which could be dangerous, but um um And Betsy, I'm like dying to go eat at Betsy.
Me too. Haven't
I
been there
haven't been there
yet.
yet, but I feel like it's going to be a new favorite. Um, but I'm up at Adelaide's all the time. I love being in there. I love hanging out with the guys and Angela there. Just such a cozy space with the kittens and stuff. And I love going into Webster's and bringing them candles. And I'm looking forward because they have my candles over at Crescent Yoga, but it's so far. I haven't been practicing there. So I'm looking forward to being able to practice yoga locally, in Altadena. So many good spots.
So many good spots. So many good spots.
Yeah.
And where's the best place for people to find you and connect?
I mean, the website is where, I sell my candles. I think Instagram, even though this last month I have not been posting very much because I've been either slammed or grieving, which I should probably post about that. But my Instagram is Altadena Candle Company, and I feel like that's where you can get to know my personality or the thought process behind the candles or what's going on. So that's a good place. And then my artwork is on Instagram also as Marike_creates.
Cool. And
Yeah.
we'll have that in the show notes.
Yeah.
And Marika, the last question I have for you, and I ask all my guests this, the name of this podcast is Painting Your Path. What does painting your path mean to you?
Mm. I mean, painting your path to me is this idea about channeling, channeling something bigger than us as creatives. Like I did The Artist's Way after Edwin died. I had had that book for 20 years and it just sat on the shelf. And after he passed and I wasn't working, I was like, what better time than now? Because who am I, right?
Right.
And that book was really a path to just clear the debris that stood in the way of my greatest creative flow. And once I did that, then I learned to just trust, like, just keep creating, just keep painting, just keep going, and life will unfold. Like this, my spirit will guide me where I need to go. And so like that phrase to me is so much about just continue creating and trust that we'll be guided to the next thing. Like we don't have to I don't have to have a clear plan and blah, blah, blah. Just keep creating and the flower will continue to bloom.
I love that. And
Yeah.
it's interesting you say that. I just joined a book club of
Mm.
The Artist's Way. I've done it many times, but never with other people. It's always been
Oh my
alone.
gosh. Yeah.
So, and the facilitator is, adding his own flavor. So
Okay.
he's calling it supercharged
That
artist
is
way.
cool.
And
Good
I'm
for
like,
you.
okay, let's bring it on. Let's see what's gonna come of this.
Yes.
And so we just started this week, so I'm
Well,
super
congrats. That
excited.
is big. I actually was talking to my friend who I went through it before. He and I went through it together, and we're like, maybe we need to do it again. Like, maybe it's time.
Yeah, could be, it could be. Well, Marika, I could talk to you for hours. It was
Thank you
so
so
good
much.
to
I'm
have you.
honored to be here with you. I'm
Yes,
grateful.
and thank you to everyone who's tuning in. And as I always like to ask, what's your biggest takeaway? Tell us on social media. And if you are an Altadenan or from the Palisades too,
Mm,
this whole season is dedicated to the fire survivors, the grassroots organizations,
mhm.
the whoever has supported our communities. I would love
Yeah.
to share your story. So
Mhm. Yay.
connect with me if you're interested. And thank you so much for tuning in. Marika, thank you again.
Yes.
And we'll see you all next time. And until then, keep painting your path. Thank you so much for staying till the very end. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend. If you haven't had a chance yet, please write a review and rate the show. I would love to hear your feedback. And I also have a free resource guide for anybody who is asking themselves, am I on the right path for myself now? Or is there something else that I really want to do? Maybe you're in that quandary. Maybe you're wondering what's next. So head over to the show notes and you'll see my Painting Your Path framework guide. Download it and have some fun. Just start exploring. And thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you next week.